Hello everyone, my name is Mr. In this class or series of videos, I'll be teaching you different life skills as well as STEM activities using science, technology, engineering, and math. I like to do lots of hands-on activities to not only get you engaged, but also show you some of the actual application and historical aspects. That way you not only learn something useful, but hopefully can apply it to something else in the future. So today we're going to do a very simple activity, making catapults. Now with the catapults that you'll see here is it uses kinetic energy stored in the rubber bands. Now this is a torsion style catapult and it definitely differs from the historical style ones that I can show here and here. Now this style catapult differs greatly from the different designs that were used historically. Now one thing that a lot of people have confused is there's different styles of catapults, there's also different styles of siege weapons. Out of all the siege weapons, the trebuchet, which is this huge one here, throwing a car, is far stronger than the catapult that we are building as a model in class today. This style catapult, even when making it extremely large, cannot shoot objects extremely far that are bigger than a person's head.
Conception about the mangonel is the size of projectile that they threw and what it was used for. Thanks to video games like Age of Empires and whatnot, people generally look at the mangonel as a siege weapon designed to bombard castle walls with the intent to destroy them. No, the size of projectile that the mangonel can effectively launch is not large enough to threaten castle walls. It'll threaten people, absolutely, not castle walls. This is not a device that is capable of destroying castles.
One thing that we have done is made snowball launchers using this particular style just because snowballs are light and it will actually shoot it incredibly far. If you decide to make one of these at home using materials to shoot snowballs or anything else, just make sure that you do not hit anyone and make sure that you're being careful and being carefully monitored by an adult. Other than that, let's get started, let's have some fun, and let's learn something. You will need 9 popsicle sticks, 1 large stick, a cup, and some tape. Do you know what the strongest simple shape there is other than a circle? It's definitely not a square. It's a triangle. When you put extreme amounts of weight on one side of the shape, there's always 2 sides that push back, that keep it from disfiguring. Now if we were to think of a square, if we put an extreme amount of weight on the top side or any other side, the square becomes weak at the corners and begins to bend one way or the other. That's why we're going to choose a triangle. What we're going to want to do is take your popsicle sticks and overlap the edges. That way they smoothly overlap. And inside your kit you should have 3 foot of tape. You're going to want to tear your tape into small pieces, roughly about 2 inches. It should definitely not be the full length of your finger, else you will run out of tape. So if we overlap the 2 edges of 2 different sticks cleanly, we can lay the tape directly on top, pick up that stick, and fold the tape over. When we fold the tape over like this, it actually makes a good bond to where it's completely together. Let's do that with the other 2 sides. Again, tear about a 2-inch piece of tape, have the corners overlap each other, place the tape on the corner, lift it up, and fold it under. Now if they begin to bend like that, it's okay. It isn't like we're using concrete or super glue. Just go ahead and straighten it back out. Make sure those 2 ends overlap each other. Use your finger to hold it into place. Take your 2-inch piece of tape, push it down, make sure it lines up, and fold the tape under. So now we end up with a triangle that looks something like this. What we're going to want to do now is do that 2 more times. So form 2 more triangles with 3 sticks each. Just like that. Start tearing off 2 inches of tape, and again repeat the process. Line up the corners and fold over the edge. Just like that. And again, if it gets a little weird, that's okay. Straighten it back out. Grab another small piece of tape. Hold it into position. Make sure the tape is touching both sides of these sticks. Fold it under so it's straight. And again, that's our second triangle. Okay, I will give everyone a chance to complete their 3 triangles. Doing the same process, overlapping the corners. Take a 2-inch piece of tape, initially press it on and fold it under. Okay, so I have my 3 triangles done. If by chance you need a little bit more time, feel free to pause the video to catch up, and then we'll continue. Okay, so you should have your 3 triangles. If there's any Zelda fans there, we got the Triforce going on. What we're going to end up doing is you want to take your 3 triangles and line the triangles up with the flat edges connected together. So we're only going to take 2 triangles. I have 1 and 2. It doesn't matter what 2 edges we line up. They are equilateral triangles, so the triangles should be the same length. Go ahead and take about a 2-inch piece of tape. Go ahead and take about a 2-inch piece of tape. And what you're going to want to do is put those 2 edges as close as possible. And you want to be able to take the tape all the way around. That way it'll be taped on both sides. It should be able to flex and bend just like that. And again, take about another 2 or 3-inch piece of tape. Line up the third one. It's going to form a trapezoid. Start with tape on one edge. Make sure the edges are as close as possible. And wrap the tape under and back over again. So we'll have a figure that looks just like this. And again, all I did was take 2 triangles, put them butt to butt on the flat edges, and then wrap the tape around. Connected the third one and wrapped the tape around. Now for the third one, there's really no important way. You can do it here, or you could attach it here. It's not going to change anything. Or if these 2 were connected, you could have put the third one down here. Where you put the third one is not going to affect anything because it'll always form a trapezoid shape that looks just like this. Now for the next part, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that the 2 triangles are flexing kind of like wings off the center. We're going to take this and we're going to put this edge over to here. So if I stand it up, kind of like this, and I fold the outer edges in, what it's going to end up doing is it's going to end up forming a pyramid shape. We want to try to get this as tight as possible. So for this, again, I basically stood the center portion up, folded the 2 together, and it'll form a pyramid shape. And what you can do in order to make life easier is you can get some tape ready. Just like that. I have my tape ready. I form everything up. And then you're going to take your tape and wrap it around. Now the tape that I put in everyone's kit is going to be a little bit better than the tape I'm using. I'm using painter's tape, and painter's tape is supposed to be easy to pull off, which is why mine is falling apart. You should have masking tape, which is a little bit stronger and it's a little bit stickier. So I'm just going to put a second one here on mine. If you're having any issues with the tape coming undone, you could always put a second one on each one, but make sure that you get to the launcher part. That way you'll have the materials that you need. So now that you have formed a pyramid, if you're looking from the top down, it'll look something like this. If it's laying on its side, it'll look something like that. From the bottom, it'll look something like this. So from the top, from the sides, they should all look identical, and from the bottom. Now what you're going to do is, if you have this one facing towards you, have one of the feet facing towards you. I'm going to have this one facing towards you guys. You have your long popsicle stick. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to take the popsicle stick and you're going to stick it in. If I show it from the angle you looking down at it, you're going to stick the popsicle stick through that triangle hole, and it's going to go butt up against the first foot in the corner. So it's in the middle of this bottom edge of this triangle that you see is formed. It's coming down where my middle finger is on this edge. We're going to take some tape and tape this edge going up this leg right here. And I'll do that one more time. So if you take a little bit of tape, let's make this a little bit longer. I'm going to make mine about 3 inches. You're going to take your larger popsicle stick and you're just going to stick the tape partly onto the stick, maybe about 1 inch or so here, and we have about 2 inches. If we have our pyramid, you're looking this way so you can see through this hole. You're going to stick the tape through that hole, and the first corner that you reach on the opposite side, which is over here, you're going to take the tape and fold the tape up. That way it can still bounce like this, but it's taped on this edge right here. So if we look at the bottom, it looks a little something like this. You want to make sure that it's just in between these two pieces here. If you have it sticking out way out here, let me show this as an example. If it's sticking way out this far like that, it's not going to be able to flex and bend because this part's going to be sitting on the table. You want the edge where this curvature is to be right in between these two sticks, and fold the tape over and tape it to this support. That way that this can go up and down just like that. I'll give everyone a moment to catch up. You can pause the video. The next step, we just put the popsicle stick through the side. It is taped onto this front edge, and it should be able to flap just like this. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of the rubber bands that are inside your kit. We're going to make sure that the rubber band goes through the two sides. We have a left side and a right side, and this stick is coming out the back towards you. So the way that this is going to work is you're going to stick it through one side. It needs to go underneath the stick and outside the other. So it'll look something like this. We went through one side of the stick. It needs to go under this popsicle stick and then come out this side right here. So that's step one. Step two, we're going to hold up the stick that's on the back, and we are going to take the rubber band and loop it around the stick. It's going through the side underneath the popsicle stick, and it's coming out this side here. Now the reason why mine is so long, everyone should have a shorter rubber band than mine, is so you can see. That way I'm not having my hand like this and you can't see what I'm doing. So what we did is we looped the stick, went through the side, underneath the stick, out the other side, and you're going to want to loop the stick again just like that. What this is going to do is it's going to force this popsicle stick up like a lever. That way it's always going to want to be up, and when we pull it down and release it, it's going to force this lever to go up. So I will do that once more. I'll undo it. So again, to make it easy, you can either put it through the sides and go under the stick, or if you want to do it first by looping it, we loop it, raise it all the way up, and then through the side you're going to stick it through one side underneath this stick, and then out through the other side. I'm going to use my pinky to grab the rubber band, just like this, pull it around tight, and then loop the stick like that. If by chance your rubber band happens to stretch a little bit, what you can do is you can pull a little bit of excess, give it a twist, and then pull it back over the popsicle stick like that. That way it'll be a little bit tighter. But in general, this will actually give you quite a bit of kinetic energy. Okay, so now we have our actual pyramid portion with the popsicle stick attached on the back. We can just kind of press up against it and make sure that it does have tension on it. The tension is the kinetic energy building. That way it can actually shoot something. For the next step, we're going to want our paper cup. And we're probably going to end up using maybe about 3 or 4 inches. And the reason why I'm saying 3 or 4 inches is this tape is going to go on the bottom of the stick, just like this. And it's going to need to be taped to the side walls of the cup. So I have about a 4-inch piece of tape. If I place my tape on the bottom side right here, I place my paper cup right on the end, just like that. And then I'm going to take the tape and tape it to the side walls of the cup. That way I can either grab the lever right here, and then I can actually shoot something. If by chance you have a slightly longer stick, what you can do is, if you have a fingernail, you can use your fingernail to pull the stick down, just like that, and then you can shoot up like that. So this is our basic catapult. If you wanted to go ahead, if you have any tape left, you can use your tape to reinforce any areas that seem a little bit weak. I enclosed some marshmallows or some bubble gum that you can use to shoot. Or if you happen to have some tape left, you can make a little tape ball just by taking maybe about a 4-inch piece of tape. If you curl that up into a ball, just like that, put that into the cup, and we pull it back, and just like that it shoots. It shoots very quickly, it'll shoot very far. Just be careful not to hit anyone in the face with it. I would say overall, if you do this project, it can actually shoot things maybe about 15 to 20 feet if you do it correctly. This is, like I said, a basic catapult, and like many different tools or items that you've seen in the world, it uses kinetic energy or stored energy using the rubber band. There's different types of catapults and siege weapons, such as ballista. A bow and arrow is similar like that, where it has a rope or something that builds tension, and it shoots or launches an item. If you have any questions regarding this project, let me know. If you're building one with a friend, it's a good opportunity to see how far your catapult launches compared to his or hers. Just make sure that you do it safely and you don't accidentally hit anyone in the eye. So what did we learn from all of this? We not only learned the basics of catapults, the history, what catapults are, and them actually being an umbrella term that covers a whole spectrum of different things that launch or shoot objects. The basics of Newton's law: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The kinetic energy that is being stored in the rubber bands that we use for ours, and then in catapults and siege weapons, they used rope, sinew, horsehair or even human hair in order to be able to braid and make rope. They were very crafty back then. They made use of what they had in order to gain the advantage on the battlefield. Siege weapons are really interesting. I hope that you found this interesting as you kind of reflect upon what it is that you learned and absorb all this information. Hopefully you had fun and had an opportunity to see which one of your classmates could shoot the farthest tape ball, marshmallow, or bubblegum ball across the room. If you think of something that you're interested in trying to do as an activity, let me know. I'm always making new lesson plans, and if it's something that you're interested in, you're not only going to have fun doing it, but you're more likely to retain the information as well as it being useful in your daily life. So I appreciate everyone watching. This is Mr. and I'll see you next time.